Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, the Wise Guy. Today is December 17th, 2024, and some interesting legal information has come out regarding Trump's hush money case. Yeah, that's still ongoing. While Jack Smith's cases did indeed drop due to the Department of Justice's unwillingness to actually pursue any legal consequences for a sitting president due to an internal memo, not a constitutional standing. So if you enjoy news, updates, history, or just general Americana, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you'd like real-time updates, just diddle that little notification bell. I would be much obliged. First, I'm going to cover over some housekeeping. I'm currently doing my best to try and push this channel, but due to my inexperience and on-the-go attitude, you're just going to have to hang in there with me because I will probably be trying newer things here in the coming months and weeks to really fill the space that I've decided to jump into here on YouTube, really kind of make it my own and throw some wax on some of the scruffier bits. So whichever updates you see and you dig, hit me up in the comments and share your thoughts. I actually respect all y'all's input and read everything that I can get to. Your patience is really appreciated and helpful in this process, and I really appreciate y'all for it. So this past Monday, yesterday, Judge Juan Merchan in Manhattan blocked an attempt by Trump's legal team in a bid to try and have his hush money case thrown out, given this recent Supreme Court ruling that he had some kind of presidential immunity. And I'm starting to see some confusion out there as to how and why he was able to do this, and on what grounds he chose to throw the case. Well, first, the crime was committed prior to Trump's coming into office. He's not given immunity for everything that he's ever done simply because he's president. Rather, the Supreme Court dictated that all official acts while he is actively in office could be challenged in court for presidential immunity. So, just to clear that up, Trump is not able to just simply skirt out from the charges that he's already been convicted of. Regardless of Jack Smith dropping his charges, the prosecutors in this case appear actually to be a bit more motivated to see this case go to sentencing. Now, I hesitate to do a lot of speculation here because literally all of this is historically unprecedented. We're in legally uncharted waters, and going forward, we're actually blazing a trail that our future American generations will depend upon for guidance. The issue that I'm seeing is that this is heading toward what appears to, at least to me, looks like a brick wall. Even if he is given a sentencing, the chances of him seeing any jail time are so incredibly small that I struggle to take the concept seriously at this point. However, that doesn't mean that there isn't a strategy in play here. Keep in mind, I am not a lawyer, but I do find the legal system fascinating. I'm one of those weirdos who gets excited for jury duty. There was a time where we didn't have that right, and fates were left up to sociopaths. Being a part of our fellow citizens' judicial processes has always just struck me as a really awesome exercise of civil power that I don't think we seriously take enough credit for. The point is, we have a really interesting legal system that we should be happy to participate in. So, in my legal nerdiness, I have come to learn a thing or two. Primarily, never take seriously legal advice found on YouTube. That's right. I do not expect any of you to hold me to this because I am not a lawyer. I did not pass a bar, and I haven't even been a paralegal. Take my position with a grain of salt. If you think I'm an idiot, the good news is you're in good company. Sit a spell. Take your shoes off. So, which case is this again? It makes perfect sense if you're kind of blurry on which legal entanglement this specific one happens to be. So much litigation and court drama has been following the incoming president for years, and maintaining some kind of mental log of them is not an easy task. In May of 2024, Donald Trump was convicted on 34 counts of falsifying business records. He paid adult actress Stormy Daniels $130,000 to cover up illicit acts that they consensually partook in while he was married to a very pregnant Melania Trump. In 2016, it was assumed that Americans would never support a man who could ever do something so horrible at the head of the party of family values. So he made a deal with this woman to kind of keep it under wraps so as to manipulate the supposed public opinion of him. Clearly, with hindsight, Republicans only wish to really gain and maintain their power over other people and use it to make their lives better. And while almost anything from a tan suit to spicy mustard will call into question the integrity of a Democrat nominee, Republican nominees can basically send in mobs of supporters to the Capitol to try and stop electoral vote counts and official hearings and chant "hang the vice president." You know, just two sides of the same coin, really. So how is this whole thing going to break down? Well, the short answer is, I have no clue. Okay? There are multiple but equally absurd conclusions, and then there are more likely outcomes to all of this, which makes the most sense to me. In one scenario, and probably the least unlikely, Judge Merchan sentences Trump to prison for interfering in the presidential election by committing 34 acts of falsifying business records. Even if he were to get that, and every liberal dream comes true, I doubt the judge will take the charges and apply them consecutively, and instead go the route of what is called concurrent. And what this means is that if there were like a statutory 5-year penalty for the charges, instead of getting 5 years for every charge, which would total to 170 years behind bars, he would put them all together for a total of 5 years, and he would serve each charge at the same time. But again, this is not only unlikely, but I wouldn't even put $1 on it if I were filthy rich. Don't get your hopes up. Even in light of his abhorrent courtroom behavior and sleep farts, look it up, he was passing out and cracking off squeakers in front of God and everybody, the judge is not going to throw his ass in jail over this. Furthermore, careful what you wish for. That would immediately put J.D. Vance in immediate power. The second option is that the rancid Dingleberry gets an ankle monitor and has to report to a PO or parole officer, which again is super unlikely but hilarious. Just the idea of Trump walking around having to report to people with a clunky ankle bracelet. I don't know, there's something about it. What a lot of people don't understand is that those are not actually issued by the government. They're leased through private entities, and you actually got to pay like a daily rate on them, like a little parking meter. If you don't pay, guess where you go. The most likely scenario, however, though, is that he's sentenced and then immediately the charges are dismissed. While a lot of you may be wondering, why? What would the point even be? Why is he doing this? Why doesn't he just drop everything the way Jack Smith did? Well, there are a few pretty good explanations that only I can think of, so I'm sure there's even more. He could be trying to just finish a process that he started and struggled through for months, if not years. As a person who took an oath to the Constitution, he may just have a sense of duty in all of this. He just wants to tie up some loose ends appropriately. He may also be setting the situation up to force the Department of Justice to intervene, in which case, given that there's no legal precedent nor constitutional law that dictates the procedures in this matter, he may just be forcing this through the legal process the way that any other citizens would be treated. However, arguably, no matter where you stand on this personally or politically, he is probably working with the greatest amount of integrity as an officer of the court by not letting Trump's power or position flout the law of the land. The judge may very well know this is a losing battle for him, but one that must be fought if for no greater reason than to uphold the integrity of his own court. This is going to tie the hands of anyone who was looking forward to using this as a way to kind of skirt having to do their jobs in other positions of government, such as SCOTUS appointees. It is telling Congress and the Supreme Court that they need to put up or shut up. Because when it comes to this, in their window of opportunity to actually intervene, it's closing. If they're going to make an affirmative and decisive action to try and stop these legal proceedings for no constitutionally legal reason, they're going to need to do so on their own accords. And in so doing, they're going to demonstrate a severe lack of respect for the very laws that they demand out of every other citizen and American to hold firm to. If this is indeed his actual motivation here, it's going to be interesting to watch how it unfolds. The only way to do that is to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay decent. Until next time, fellow nerds, peace.